Welcome to Movie Sandwiches. In this video we are going to look at the movie The Shallows. Nancy Adams is a university clinical scholar headed closer to a seaside for a non-public vacation. The seaside become a favorite spot of her mom, who currently exceeded far from cancer. Nancy is pushed there with the aid of using a person named Carlo. She is meant to be there together along with her buddy Anna, however she claims to her becoming sick, leaving Nancy to take the experience alone. She gives him a few coins for his services, however he declines. Nancy receives into her surf tools and hits the waves on her board. She comes throughout different surfers who recognize she is a visitor. Nancy joins the two of them because the waves get nicer. Later, Nancy has a video chat together along with her sister Clotho inform her all approximately the seaside and the way their mom become proper approximately how it is like paradise. Nancy then talks to her father, who is aware of she is taking the experience for her mom. He expresses difficulty to Nancy over her grief and actions. Nancy swims out beyond the shallows of the sea to seize a few greater waves. As she receives in addition from the shore, she sees a whale carcass floating up pinnacle. Sensing trouble, Nancy attempts to move lower back to the shore on a wave, however as she rides it, a massive excellent white shark slams into her and knocks her off the board. Nancy climbs lower back on and attempts to paddle lower back, however the shark bites deep into her left leg, spilling quite a few blood into the water. Nancy struggles to break out and swims to a rock wherein the shark cannot attain her. She takes the ankle strap from her board and makes use of it as a tourniquet to forestall the bleeding. Nancy sees the alternative surfers and attempts calling to them for assist, however they do not seem to pay attention or see her. She wraps her wetsuit round her leg. It begins off evolved getting darker as Nancy attempts to get a gap far from the shark. Her handiest associate is a seagull with an injured wing. Nancy attempts to devour a tiny crawling creature, however she speedy barfs it up. On the shore, she sees an inebriated guy exceeded out with inside the sand. She calls out to him and manages to get his interest. Nancy factors closer to her bag for her to name for assist. The guy simply steals her telecell smartphone and wallet. He sees her board floating with inside the shallows and he walks into the water to get it. Nancy yells to him to escape from the shark. She then sees the shark assault the person as he heads lower back to the shore. The shark tears the person in one half of, and the pinnacle one half of attempts crawling away till he dies. Nancy receives chillier because the nighttime falls. She places her in shape lower back directly to hold warm. She additionally loosens the tourniquet to permit blood go with the drift with inside the leg. Nancy then attempts to sew herself up the use of her rings and necklace chain, however it is too painful for her. In the morning, the alternative surfers go back to the sea. Nancy calls to them as they journey their forearms into the water. She warns them approximately the shark, however one surfer assures her there is not one. He's demonstrated incorrect whilst the shark jumps up and eats him. The different surfer rushes closer to the rock, however the shark pulls him down. He resurfaces speedy with the aid of using the rock wherein Nancy attempts to drag him up. The shark pulls him down, leaving handiest his helmet with a digital cam on pinnacle, which captures him getting eaten. Nancy observes the shark's actions because it circles the rock, estimating that it swims approximately 32 seconds round every other rock, which leaves her with time to swim and attain the helmet. She takes that risk and makes it to the little rock, however she misses the helmet earlier than the shark returns. As she is going lower back to the larger rock, she sees the helmet again. Nancy reaches for it because the shark lunges closer to her. The shark hurts itself because it scrapes towards the coral. Nancy manages to get the helmet. She makes a video for anybody that reveals the helmet. She indicates how horrific her leg has gotten, with gangrene putting in, and she or he leaves a message for Chloe and their father. Nancy then tosses the helmet closer to the shore. Nancy pops the seagull's wing lower back into vicinity after which we could it glide away on a damaged piece of surfboard. Nancy sees a buoy numerous toes away. She makes her plan to attain it and try and carry interest to herself. As she prepares herself, the shark swims closer to her. A faculty of jellyfish rises up. Nancy thinks the shark cannot damage her if it runs into something that may harm it. Nancy jumps into the water and swims closer to the buoy, and the shark follows closely. She receives stung on her shoulder, at the same time as the shark eats a few jellyfish and receives stung too. Nancy reaches the buoy and reveals a flare gun. She grabs the photographs and fires some with inside the air as she spots a ship with inside the distance. Unfortunately, the boat has already became away, and it by no means sees her. The shark begins off evolved to circle the buoy. Nancy fires a flare at once on the shark. Now pissed off, the shark begins off evolved slamming into the buoy, breaking the chains that hold it up. It manages to loosen the buoy and begins off evolved chomping into it. Nancy struggles to hold herself at a distance and to preserve onto the buoy. While underwater, she notices the chain keeping the buoy to a spiked base at the ground of the bay. At the proper moment, Nancy receives the chain on a hook caught with inside the shark's side. This pulls her down closer to the bottom because the shark chases her. She pulls out on the proper moment, inflicting the shark to swim at once onto the bottom, and it receives impaled. On the shore, a bit boy reveals the helmet digital cam and sees Nancy's video. He runs to get his father, who's Carlos. They locate Nancy washed up at the shore, dehydrated and weak. They run to assist her. Nancy sees the seagull status near her. Before she passes out, Nancy sees a imaginative and prescient of her mom smiling down on her. Nancy without a doubt says, "I'm okay." 1 year later, Nancy is doing better, albeit with a large scar on her leg. She returns to the seaside with Chloe and their father. Nancy brings Chloe into the water to educate her the way to surf. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe and support this channel.